Welcome to Florida Men on Florida Man with Greg, Wayne, Josh, and Cameron, the podcast where Floridians discuss the legends, lore, and crazy stories that always seem to take place in Florida.
Yeah.
Hey, episode 131.
We did it.
Man.
We're streaming live right now.
Finally.
Patreon.com/FMOFM podcast.
Yeah, we were talking about exercise routines a second ago.
Yeah, Pelotron.
Right.
The mirror
Pelotron.
with the rubber bands.
Thigh Master.
That sounds scary because I can't mount anything to my wall. That thing would come flying at me so quick.
Now, listen, if you remember the Thigh Master, we were talking about that. Suzanne Summers, it was her campaign. It had like blue things on it with a red ball in the middle.
That's it.
You put it between your thighs and you just squeeze
Okay,
it.
no, I know this is an
interesting.
audio podcast, but the
Right.
grunting is
The grunting
I
is
was trying to show Josh and
unprofessional.
Cameron how I look when I do the Thigh Master.
Yeah, but why are you doing your arms?
Because
not even, yeah.
you can't see my legs under the table.
Right.
We know what they're doing. They're shaking the whole table.
All right, listen. Josh, you were saying something on the drive over here, and then you stopped and you said, I'll save it for the podcast.
Okay, so I figured out relationships now.
Okay, good.
Oh, well, that's good timing.
So the conversations are tough because you don't want to have them, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Right.
So a couple days ago, my girlfriend brings up killing my dog. You know, like,
Wait, what?
Yeah.
and I'm like, hey, I'd actually like to opt out of this conversation.
Okay.
And then we started to incorporate that opt out option into our relationship. So I can tell you how it works. It's really easy. You get one opt out,
Okay.
and then you don't have to talk about the subject matter at hand for 24 hours.
Okay, how often do you get an opt-out?
Once a day.
Oh,
It's cake.
so you don't have to talk the whole day if you don't want to.
No, you only get one.
One
per
conversation.
subject. Yeah.
So hold on, I just want to clarify. So if someone starts a conversation and you don't want to have that conversation right then and there, you just say,
I opt out.
I opt out of this.
Which that clears you for 24 hours.
I think we should do. I opt out.
I opt out too.
Of this,
Yeah,
but I've got to explain the rules.
I've already opted out.
Okay, headlines.
Headline.
All right, we have a Florida woman that goes to her favorite restaurant, probably all of our favorite
Shells.
restaurants. Shells, that's a good place to eat.
Amen, baby.
But no. Our actual favorite, which is Burger King.
Okay.
And she's inside. She orders her favorite meal, which is a Whopper.
Impossible Whopper or regular Whopper?
What's that? Oh,
the fake meat?
the fake meat.
Yeah,
no,
it's
no,
good.
No. I want that real Whopper. But anyway, she orders a Whopper.
Yes.
Takes it back to her table. She realizes she's not happy with it.
Yeah.
Okay. So what do? You go complain and abuse and yell at the workers at Burger King.
Usually not.
You
Don't like
berate
that.
them. Okay.
Usually
You
not.
scream at them, and then you take that Whopper and hit them in the back.
Oh, you whop 'em.
Whenever they turn around. Yeah. And so that's exactly what she did. She
That-
assaulted the Burger King worker
Ridiculous.
with a Whopper.
Whoppers are heavy, though. Have
Yeah.
you ever picked up a full-size
It's
Whopper?
mostly just lettuce and tomato.
They're bigger than you think. Yeah. I mean, they are big. They're whopping.
What would you say? There's probably a 5-inch radius.
Yeah, at least.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing, though. Like, why? What was she so upset about?
So, well, here's the thing. She didn't specify to the worker exactly why she was upset. She just was upset the Whopper wasn't good enough. So, then she starts screaming and she's throwing a lot of racial slurs.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of issues there.
Jesus.
But when she was arrested,
Yeah.
okay, and cops were able to find her very quickly after her and her husband left because they got her license plate and they tracked her down. And she said, yeah, I did do that.
Okay, wow.
she
I'm
said-
honest, but I throw Whoppers.
Right. But she was upset about the thickness
Oh,
of
wow.
the tomatoes
Okay.
in her Whopper,
Okay.
Okay.
Wow.
which is
beefsteak.
so specific.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just
You so specific.
If you're that, if you're that interested in the thickness of tomatoes,
Right.
maybe you should specify before. You only give me those thick cut beefsteaks. baby.
Well, that's
Right.
the thing. She didn't say if they were too thick or too thin. Just that she was upset about the thickness.
Oh, I see.
So,
I know.
you know.
I noticed she said that the Whopper wasn't good enough.
Right.
I just want to say to her, and I don't even know her name.
Okay.
But I would like to say you're not good enough.
Well, that seems personal. That's a personal.
I think it is personal. If you're throwing a hamburger and using racial slurs, I can say whatever I want about you.
Yeah, I 100%
I'm
agree
going
with
to take
that.
a different angle here.
Okay.
I think she probably meant to order the Megan the Stallion Whopper.
What is that?
Yeah, that's a special edition. It comes with thick tomato and thick. I got nothing else to say.
Gotcha. Yeah, so her what would have been misdemeanor battery for throwing a Whopper is now a felony because of the racial slurs.
Yeah.
Good.
Oh, wow. Good.
So, anyway, she's 77 years old.
Okay.
She should know better by now, and I think you need to do better. Okay. All right. Next, we have a Florida man who has been deemed by some as Florida's worst cop ever.
Okay.
That's a
Whoa.
lot of
And
competition.
Yeah, that's a badge.
Josh is about to get heated.
Oh, God. Okay. I'm sorry.
So this Florida man was fired recently for misconduct.
Okay.
Okay. He is a sergeant or was a sergeant, and he got in trouble because basically he was helping an officer that's below him,
Okay.
he's in charge of, cover up an issue with the crime scene.
What's the sergeant supposed to do, though?
Well, he's supposed to help and be supportive and be, a good role model.
Serve and protect.
Serve and protect.
Right.
But what happened was there was this crime scene. This happened in October, this part of it. And there was a firearm that was used in this crime, and they were supposed to secure it and, lock down the crime scene and all this kind of stuff. Well, this officer forgot to lock down the crime scene.
The gun's the main part of the crime scene, right?
Yes, and the gun was stolen.
Okay.
Instead of the officer doing his job and, taking care of it and securing it. And our Florida man here, he basically told the guy, well, just come up with an excuse as to why you left it and you went to go to your car to get a tarp because it was raining and somebody stole it. Well, anyways, he was fired for misconduct for doing this and trying to, cover up this issue.
Okay,
instead
nice.
of just
The higher ups
instead of
there.
reporting it and going through the process. Well, this is the 7th time this guy has been fired from this police department.
Okay.
From this police
the
department.
same police department in the city of Opelika.
One of my favorites.
Opelika.
He has been terminated 7 times from this police department.
They're good with the firing for baddies, right?
Right.
But they just keep
Whoever's
hiring
in
back.
HR though, rehiring, they're not doing their due diligence.
Well, here's the thing. So he's been fired from allegations and violations ranging from excessive force, stealing from suspects, misuse of police firearms.
Okay.
He's also been arrested and cleared 3 of those times.
He's
What
been
the-
arrested. How do you misuse a cop firearm? Like juggling it?
I don't know.
Give me your gun. Let me juggle these 2.
7 times. Here, let me kind of clear this up.
Okay.
So all of these issues go through, the police department in the city.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, fire him. And they do an internal investigation first.
Yeah.
They find reason to
Yes,
fire
they do.
him. And then basically he goes before a police union or is supported by a police union, and his case will go to arbitration. And so an arbitrator, which is like a third party, adjudicator or judge, will come in and say, actually, we're going to reinstate him into your police department. And there's no choice, or, the police department has no say in it.
Yeah, I guess so.
But he's a sergeant.
So the arbitrator here, and so there's no really like encouragement to turn this guy in if you see him juggling guns.
Because,
Like, that's
he's just going
scary.
to come back on the force. What's
Yeah.
his name?
Jermaine Bosk.
Jermaine Bosk.
You should be fired.
Or German Bosk. I'm not sure how to say it.
Oh, okay. From life.
Yeah,
Amen.
I don't know, man. Yeah, that's just like, that's the thing where I don't
want to get too.
Yeah, I don't want to get into it, but I'm not happy about
Well,
it.
let me give you another.
What's the city again? Since you pronounce
Opelika.
Opelika. Beautiful place. Yeah,
I'll write them a letter.
Let me give you another police one.
No.
Real quick.
Jeez, what is this episode?
So Pinellas County Sheriff's Office fired a deputy this past Monday.
Thank you.
After 2 investigations revealed he was sending inappropriate text messages to vulnerable women he met on the job. And one of these women Okay. He was actually part of the investigation of her father's death. He was supposed to be helping. He was supposed to, be helping investigate the situation, finding the cause of this and finding the person that, he starts sending inappropriate messages, pictures of himself.
Yo, it's me.
And so Wayne's just so sad right now.
It's hard to figure out what the...
he was fired. Hopefully he doesn't get reinstated. Hopefully, he's done. But
this
he doesn't live in Opelika, so there's a chance that he's...
This seems like another show that we could do.
Let me do another one. Non-police. South Florida man was electrocuted.
There we go. Finally, some good news. Ha ha ha.
Was electrocuted and treated for second and third degree burns.
Okay.
After he hit a 400,000 volt high tension power line. 400,000
Those should be out of reach, ideally.
Well, they are out of reach, and he was using a long landscaping tool to get to it. And he was trying to get to a bird's nest that belonged to a parrot.
Okay.
God bless.
A parrot's bird
See, this is what I
nest.
signed up for. This is what I signed up for.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. It's not clear why he was trying to get the bird's nest or what he was doing
Those
with
sweet
it.
parrot eggs.
Yeah.
You
That's
think you
the
could catch
thing.
them all, though?
And I will say this, and I've
Some
said this
parrot
for
eggs and
as
bacon?
long as I can remember. I would risk just about any voltage for a parrot egg.
You would?
Oh, for sure.
What's the worst that can happen, right? You have a delicious breakfast or you die.
You get a little buzz. You get a little buzz.
He came really close.
Yeah, 400,000 seems excessive.
400,000 volts is insane.
I lick a 9-volt battery and I'm like awoke for like 3 days.
Right.
I mean, that's better than caffeine, honestly.
Hey, man.
Like
How is he
9-volt
doing? Is
battery.
he doing okay now?
Yeah, he's recovering. They say that he'll fully recover. He just has, like I said, second and third
Was
degree
the parrot
burns.
like mocking him? Because I could get there. Like I could be like, okay,
Right.
this parrot was mocking
Especially,
me.
if he was trash talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You never get me.
I bet you
I don't
can't
know what
reach
parrot
me.
says.
Yeah. You never get me.
Oh, man.
Bet
So
you can't reach me.
our next one is actually about birds as well. A Florida man
Love 'em.
was caught illegally trapping birds. And so police officers found these bird traps, and which is illegal. You can't...
What's a bird trap?
A trap for
bird-
a
It could-
bird.
it could
Oh,
be
I get that
anything.
part.
To catch a bird.
How do you catch a bird?
A
Midair?
net.
In a bird trap.
A net or a
I'm
box.
thinking like a pool net.
Right.
Right. So investigators found 3 bird cages, an aviary,
Nice.
13
Lovely.
painted buntings, which Josh knows what those are.
A good
And then
bunting's hard to find.
3 indigo buntings, which are birds.
Beautiful.
And so, anyways, these birds, they're actually really pretty. The buntings, they're like in the cardinal
Are you
family. They're
justifying his
super-
trapping?
No, not at all.
Okay.
They're super colorful. But anyways, he was caught trapping birds, and then when officers came to
Mm-hmm.
investigate, he tried to use a cage full of finches
Okay.
to distract officers
I
to
like
try
that.
to get
Threw
away.
it? He
I
threw
like
a
that.
cage
I don't
full of
know. It
fences?
doesn't say. That's the thing. Is like I would hope he didn't just chuck a bird cage.
Okay. I
It
think
would
I
be
know how
way
this played
cooler
out.
if he just opened a bird cage.
I was like, get him.
Finches like flew into the police
Whoa.
faces.
Yeah.
and,
Hundreds
then
of
he
them.
made it. He didn't get away though.
He dashed.
They caught him real quick.
I think he's like, okay, you sure you want to see the painted duckberry, whatever it's called?
Bunting.
Yeah.
Bunting.
I love a good
Or
duckberry.
you got to see these finches.
Right.
Yeah.
You're going to love these finches.
I
You
don't
need to look at those.
There's a discrepancy, I think, with bird rules in our state because not too long ago, maybe
Didn't you study bird law?
I studied aviary law.
Yeah. There you go.
And there was 30, 40 episodes ago.
Yeah.
a
What's
guy
the
had-
first rule of aviary law?
Don't catch them.
Right.
And there's a guy that had like a bird farm, and
Oh, yeah,
everybody
yeah.
was so happy with him. And this guy's going to jail for
yeah.
catching
He
birds.
got landlocked, right?
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And he couldn't use the birds.
I
to
just would
fly.
love some clarification, I think, because I want to know before I catch a yummy parrot egg.
Right.
If I
Yeah,
survive
yeah.
the voltage, am I
Well,
going
is
to
it
prison?
an aviary at that point if it's still an egg?
Oh.
Well, here's the thing. Let's just stay away from the parrot eggs.
Are you pro-choice or
birds-
pro-life aviary?
Birds are
eggs?
difficult because a lot of bird laws are
Yeah.
actually federal laws, not state law, because they
They fly across
migrate.
state lines.
They migrate, so a lot of them are
bless.
federal.
This is tough.
You don't want to go against the federal
This is a
government.
good one.
Yeah.
Give us another bird one.
Man went
going.
chicken egg hunting and found eggs in his backyard.
What?
Oh, wow, that sounds like a blessing. That's
Right-
that's
right
a
then.
Wayne.
That's a Tuesday morning
He
for
had
me.
a delicious breakfast.
I'm
All right,
hungry.
next one. We have a Florida man who was arrested for stealing a truck loaded with $3 million worth of
Bird eggs.
Bird eggs.
Ventilators en route to critical COVID patients.
Jeez
They
Louise.
did not make it. The truck was intercepted on its way to Texas.
They pit stopped them and it flew everywhere.
The truck
Right.
driver basically left it in an overnight parking, and this guy basically hopped in and was like, "These are my
Nice.
ventilators." There's like almost 200 of them.
Yeah.
And anyways, yeah, he is being held without bond.
I love the summary of the article was the guy was like finders keepers.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna run off
That's
with
what
it.
stealing is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally what it is.
That's
Yeah.
government. It's like finders keepers law, right?
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it makes sense though.
It does. I get it. I mean, it's a truck and trailer. You got to have somewhere to live and to breathe.
Right.
All right, so our next one, I'll bring you up a little bit. We have a Florida man in St. Pete, okay,
Lovely city.
who's known. His name is Al Nixon. He's
Okay.
58 years old, and he is known by locals for sitting on a bench every day, 7 days a week, to watch the sunrise for like years.
You know,
Okay,
leave
And
your
so-
legacy.
Yeah.
and here's the thing. So when he first started doing this, he was like down on his luck. He had some issues with at his job, and so he just
Okay.
wanted to clear his head in the morning. So he'd go sit on this bench. There's right on the ocean and watch the sunrise. And he started doing this for a while, like 3-4 days a week. And then at one point, this lady said something to him that was like,
You're trespassing.
yeah, this is private.
This is my
property."
bench.
Right. Basically said, hey, I know that I'm going to have a great day every day that I see you sitting on
That's
the bench.
awesome.
Oh,
So
well,
he's-
that's a lot. That's a lot to
That's a
put on
lot of
someone's
pressure.
shoulders.
It's a lot of
Yeah.
pressure. So from that one comment, he decided to do it every single day.
Huh.
And so the thing is, now people know him so well because it's on like a walking
Right.
path, and people will walk by, say
Yeah.
good morning to him. But
Yeah.
a lot of people will come and sit with him.
Whoa.
And he's become like a counselor, or like
okay.
like
Whoa.
people will give all their issues to him, and like basically he's like doing therapy on
Yeah.
this bench. I mean,
That's
he doesn't.
cool.
He's
He's
not
deaf.
claiming that. He just says that he's like my whole thing is I'm a good listener. I don't try to advise people. I don't
Right.
try to give people.
He's not saying he's a
suggestions.
therapist. He's not saying he's a
No, but
therapist.
everybody-
He's just saying that if you come sit with me, I'll solve your problems.
No. He's not saying any of this.
Right.
Okay.
Everybody on this
He's mute
Everybody.
and deaf.
I hate when you guys ruin good stories. No, but people are like legitimately just like,
Yeah.
they like to see him. One thing that people talk about is he's like super well dressed. Like he has like a sport coat and a fedora on every morning.
Okay. Is he dead?
No.
Is he just is it like dead cadaver?
Here, this is a good question though. So he missed his bench sitting for like
No.
for a few days.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, he went on vacation
Yeah.
and was gone for a few days. Somebody put a plaque on his bench, basically like memorializing
Oh
him.
my gosh. This this seat
They
dedicated
ju-
to
exactly.
bench
And he
guys.
was like
He was like-
assumed.
He's like, I had a headache.
It said
Jesus.
Al, a loving and loyal friend and
No.
and a confidant to many forever and always. And then there's this app or website called Neighborhood or something like that.
Love
Yeah,
it. Next door.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so people were like posting on that. Has anybody seen Al? And everybody's like, oh,
His
he
name's
was
Hank.
such a good guy. And he got on there and logged in. He's like, I'm not dead. Like I'm still around.
It was raining.
I can't go anywhere.
It was raining,
The poor guy
guys.
can't take a morning off.
No,
but yeah,
that's awesome.
every day from like 6 a.m. to like 8 a.m. Go talk to Al. Like if you just need somebody to talk to,
No, I would.
go to
Yeah,
St. Pete.
Al
and just
leaves
talk to him.
depressed every morning. He's like, come on, guys. I'm trying to have a good morning. Let me talk.
Right.
Right. Yeah. He's happy to do it. Just go talk to him.
Hello.
Hello. How are you guys?
fellas. So I got a letter again this week.
Yeah.
And this person's like applying for a job and went to the job interview. And I feel like I made a bad impression.
Okay.
Had my
That's never a good feeling.
no, they said they had their fly down the whole time.
Okay.
And it was for a
A jean salesman.
jean salesman. Yeah.
Right.
Thank
Okay.
you. You read that
Yeah,
email?
I
Yeah.
feel like that would sell a lot of jeans.
Well, depends on what's anyways. And I want to know, guys, can you make me feel better? Have you ever made a bad first first impression or had one made upon you?
Oh,
Okay,
that's
okay.
fun because I've probably made a few, but I've experienced have one made upon me.
Oh, that's a nice experience.
Okay, so whenever I was a freshman in college, my
How
friend
many times?
third time,
Oh, okay.
third time. So I wasn't a true freshman.
Okay.
A friend of mine said, "Hey, I got this girl. She's in my New Testament theory class.
Okay.
And I think you're gonna like her. I think you
Nice.
guys would
Love
hit it
that.
off." Right. And I go, "Yeah, I would like to meet her." He goes, "Well, here's the thing. Let's do a blind date." So
Whoa, that's
immediately I'm
scary.
like, why?
This is back when
am I
rotary phones.
am I too ugly? And you
Right.
don't want her to say, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. You don't want to have to talk her into going.
A
You just
100%.
just go
Yeah.
and here's what you're dealt with.
Yeah, so we exchanged numbers through a third party,
Nice.
our mutual friend,
Right.
and we're texting, we're hitting it all, things are going well.
Cool.
And she goes, "You want to meet me in Highland City?" And she sends me the address.
Hello.
And now, to give you a picture, Highland City is kind of a small town. It's like almost like a suburb of,
It's a
of
suburb.
the town that
Yeah,
we're in.
yeah.
And it's kind of out it's like a bunch of orange groves and stuff.
Cool.
So, and this is before like Google Maps. Like this is, you have to print directions.
Oh, you're
Right.
printing MapQuest.
Yes,
You're
I
printing
can't-
the screen.
Right. So I can't Google like where we're going.
Nice. You can't see a satellite view.
Not at all. So I'm driving like 35 minutes, right? And I'm kind of nervous the first day.
Mm-hmm.
I pull up. Surely this cannot be the place. Highland City, there's two main addresses: a softball field and a church.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
familiar.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm like, I guess we're playing softball tonight.
Yep.
Turns out we were at the church. And
What?
it was
Oh,
a
no.
Wednesday night revival service.
Hello.
Is where she wanted to take me on our
For a
first
blind date?
Oh yeah.
This could go a lot of
So
ways.
when we talk about
Right.
first impressions, there was a bad first impression made by her
on you.
on me
Yep.
for setting this date up.
Okay.
And then me on the entire church.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
really?
Because we walk in and it's small enough that everybody notices me.
Okay. Well, your "I love the devil" shirt, right?
Right,
yeah, yeah.
right, exactly.
Okay.
And I can't get away because I'm kind of sitting in the back,
Mm-hmm.
and someone who I assume is the pastor, because he was dressed nicer than anybody else.
Well, he was
Yeah.
preaching.
Yeah, and he was
He's
preaching
on
at
the
the time.
podium.
No, before the service started, he comes up to me and he goes, "Glad you're here tonight.
Don't
If-
like that.
If you know her, you must be good people. Tonight we're casting out a demon."
Oh.
Well, that's a little much, right?
Yep. And I looked over at her and I go, "Hey, I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back."
Oh,
You didn't even ask who was getting the demon cast out?
It was probably me. So I said,
wow.
"I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be right back." And I never
Right.
came back.
so you didn't see.
I went to my Toyota Celica. I
Yep.
cranked up my car. And you had that gut feeling where like a horror movie could happen where it was like, what if my car doesn't start?
Oh my
And then I
gosh.
look up and the entire church is staring at
Yes.
me.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
they're
You're the
like,
demon.
"Yeah, you're the demon, right?"
Josh lived that at the fruit cult.
I sure
Oof.
did. That
Yeah.
was scary.
It was
just
a
for eating meat, Slim Jim in my pocket.
yeah.
It was a bad first impression, but I did get away, and it was awkward because we had to go to school together. you
Right.
know.
And now
Oh,
you're
yeah.
married and
Yeah.
you guys
And
love
now
each
we're
other.
married and we have
Yeah,
kids.
That's
and,
her.
and every week I'm mouthing to my friends, "Get me out of here."
Right.
Yeah, well, but
No,
we
it
don't
wasn't
know.
her.
We know.
But no, it was a scary situation. How about you, Josh?
Mine is so similar.
No.
actually. Yeah. So between the summers of 8th grade and 9th grade.
Okay,
Okay.
so 87 to 88.
Yep, 87 to 88.
Yeah.
I was in my prime.
Okay.
You
Yeah.
guys know this.
Yeah.
Still haven't hit puberty though.
No, not yet. But
No.
chest hair like a Brillo.
Right.
Hey, man.
You're looking strong.
Right.
My dad's sending me to all these camps, these 1 week camps.
Uh-huh.
So I go to like quilt camp and like running camp.
Right.
Right.
I dropped out of that, obviously. Once I knew,
You went
once I
back to
saw the
quilting
sign.
camp.
I went back to quilting
Yeah.
camp. But I get stuck at the YMCA for a while.
Okay. That's fun.
And the YMCA was cool, but I was kind of like at the age where it's like I'm not old enough to be like a counselor,
Right.
but they really don't have like
There's
a
no
group,
activities for
a
you.
group for me,
Right.
right? So I get elected to be in like the ball boy for like a 40-year-old men's game ball basketball
Racquetball,
team.
right,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, or racquetball.
Yeah.
But the place is closed for racquetball.
Right.
So like this day I come in, they're like, "Josh, we need you to be a dummy." I'm like, "Hey, man, baby."
Yeah. So I
I
just
showed
stand
up.
right here?
Right.
Yeah, they said we got we actually have lifeguard training,
Okay.
and we got a few people coming in from local YMCA's.
Okay.
They're going to be lifeguard training,
Right.
and we need you to be a passive victim. A passive victim is someone who's already passed out,
Okay.
most likely already drowned,
Right.
and you're going to be saved.
Okay.
And so I walk into the swim pool area. You know, you get that gust of chlorine, right?
Oh,
I just want you to be there
that.
with me.
It smells clean though.
And I see, I thought I locked eyes with love of my life. Yeah. And I look over and there she is. She's lifeguard duty. She's ready. And I'm like, I hope I get her, or I hope she gets me. I hope she
Right.
saves me.
I hope
ideally.
she's saving me.
But there's like 10 people,
Right.
and there's 10 dummies.
yeah.
Amen?
Oh.
Yeah.
So you have a 10% chance of getting
Right.
this one. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
So they start going down the line, and I start seeing where her position is in line, and like reorchestrating my
You're
position.
trying to line up.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I just made it the love of my life. Amen.
Right.
Right.
And then it's my turn. I'm up, and they're like, "Okay, Tiffany, you're up. Passive victim. Would you jump in the water, please?"
And this is you.
This is me. I'm up
Okay. Yeah.
because I had butted Brett, and Brett, he was not a good passive victim.
No,
if
Brett's a
I'm
piece of
honest.
crap.
Yeah, he was a better active victim.
Right.
So drama.
Yeah.
So I jump in, and they're like, "Okay, face down." And I'm like, "Oof."
Wait, what?
I wasn't big. Well, that's you're
In the pool.
passive. Yeah.
Right.
Face down. So
Yeah.
you're already drowned, and your face is in the
Gotcha.
water.
No, you can't float.
Amen, baby.
Oh no.
So I hold it, good 30, 45 seconds.
Yeah.
And I peek my head up and they're like, passive victim, head back down.
What?
I guess they're giving her the instructions.
How long can you're
Amen,
about to be a
30
passive
seconds,
victim
I'm
for
about
sure.
to.
Yeah.
So I take a deep breath, and you guys know a little bit about my body and how it functions. So you won't be surprised about this next part. So, I hear a splash.
Right.
I feel arms grab me.
Okay.
I feel pulled noodle. Well, it's a lifeguard noodle.
Right.
Go under my back.
Right.
Okay, now I'm propped
Right.
up.
Right.
And I hear in my ear, loud as possible, "Why are you bleeding?
What?
Why is he bleeding?" Nosebleed.
No.
Yeah. I had double nostril nosebleed. I'm bleeding all over my face.
Well, you were oxygen deprived.
She pushes away from me, then uses me as a kickboard, kicks away from me, and swims.
Now this is Tiffany.
This is Tiffany. This is love of my
Okay.
life.
Right.
At this point.
Right.
And you just bled all over her.
Yeah. Well, I bled all over my body and chest.
Right.
And the Brillo. And she kicks off of me. And then I hear Chuck, the guy I didn't want, him like, "I'll get him. I'll rescue him."
Oh,
Chuck
gross,
dives
Chuck.
in.
Overachiever.
I don't even get to like turn around and be like, "My nose, I'm okay."
Right.
No, Chuck's got the noodle under my back. He's swimming with me.
Yeah.
And we make it back to shore, and he's like, "What do you need?" And I'm like,
Oh no.
I-
What's-
Here's the thing,
a
buddy.
Kleenex, actually.
She's not the lover of your life if she's just going to leave you for dead in the
She's
in
also
the
a bad
swimming pool.
lifeguard.
She's
Like,
terrible.
What kind
Yeah.
of lifeguard sees a victim and bleed and then kicks him?
What the heck? What? She used me
I'm
as
outta
as
here.
a kickboard and just
Yeah.
kicked off of me.
She's like, you know what? I'm
goodness.
second guessing my career choice.
She did, yeah. She's a librarian now.
Oh no way! No swimming there.
Yeah, no swimming there.
Mm.
Cam, you got any?
Oh yeah. I have a story about how I made a good first impression.
well, that's
Okay.
not really part of the.
There's a twist. So, anyways, this happened 2 nights ago. We did a social episode.
Right, we
Yes.
did.
In Tampa. We
That was
had
fun.
finished recording that, and I came home and I'm
Okay.
chilling with my son, and we're like, I think we're reading books and stuff in his
Such a bragger.
bus, and all of a sudden it's like 7:30. Somebody's knocking on the door, and I'm
Okay.
like, that's weird time for somebody to be knocking on the
is.
door.
Yeah.
It's too late for like door-to-door salesmen.
I didn't order food.
I didn't order
Right.
food. I should have, and now I'm regretting it. But
Yep.
anyway, so I go to the door, and this lady that at first I didn't recognize her.
Okay.
And then I
Uh-oh.
realized, wait, that's my neighbor.
Yeah.
We don't really know each other. She's kind of
Okay.
new. Okay. We kind of do the
Oh, the
little,
halfway.
the little
Polite
wave,
wave, right.
every now and then, and we both have dogs, so there's like a little.
And your dog gets out.
Hey, yeah.
She's like, you still have a dog? And you're like, yeah. Do you have one?
right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Cool, I trust you.
Yeah.
And so she's never asked. She's never asked my name, but she's asked what my dog's names were.
Hey, man. That's a
But
good
anyways,
neighbor.
So she comes up. I answer the door, and she said, "I'm so sorry, but is there any way that I could use somebody's phone? I accidentally locked myself out of my house in my
Right.
car, and I don't have my phone." And she's like, I need to call like a locksmith or somebody to try to come open my,
Right.
my
House.
house.
And car
Right.
with no phone.
But yeah, exactly.
Okay.
She
Okay.
just
That's
walked
scary.
outside for something and pulled it closed, and I guess it was locked. And so, anyways, I'm like, well, yeah. She's like, I'll try to call my sister first, but she I don't know who she called. She called somebody that was not.
Yes.
She couldn't remember the number. I don't think I would know anybody's number.
No.
Without
My sister,
cell
she's
phone.
3 hours away. Can I chill here?
Yeah.
So, anyways, she's like, I guess I'll call a locksmith, and she was trying to find one that's
Nope.
that's open that at that time of night. And so I said, well, is it like,
Oh, no.
is it your front door? And she's like, yeah, it's locked. And I said, is it deadbolt? She said, no, it's just like the bottom handle. I said, okay, let me see if I can.
Okay.
Let me see what
There
I
he
can do.
goes.
Right. And so I'd asked about like, are you sure you don't have a window that's like
Yeah,
cracked
right.
or anything like that? And she had already checked. So I'm like, all right, I'll go over and
Here
see
he
what I can do.
goes.
And maybe maybe break a window or something. So I
Right.
go over to her front door.
Yep.
I take out a credit card.
Come on.
Okay.
Within three
Don't-
seconds,
Yep.
I was in her front door.
Oh my gosh.
That's terrifying.
Which no, here's the thing though. She's like, "Oh my god, thank you so much." She's like, "Can I pay you what
Yes.
what can I do?"
$300.
And I'm
Yes,
like, "No,
absolutely.
it's okay." And then she's like, this like realization
Oh, no.
like came over her
Yeah.
face,
Yeah.
just knowing
Pervert.
that I can break into her house
What
like
you
at
should,
any given
what you should have
moment.
done is you should have winked at her and gone, not my first time.
Amen.
Don't make a mistake.
Yeah.
So she's
jeez
like, she looked at
Louise.
me like she's terrified
Yeah.
and just like also like very disappointed and probably wondering what my past
Occupation
life
is?
or occupation.
Yeah.
So now every time we do, it's not a half little wave anymore.
Not
She just
anymore.
like, she turns
Cowers.
away.
Yeah.
And
She
so,
won't even make eye contact.
exactly. At first, what she thought was like, and what really was, I mean, it was great by me. I did her,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did her a
yeah.
huge favor.
Yeah.
But now
thinking.
she thinks I'm a criminal. And
Now
so,
he goes over and knocks and hears all that chink.
Yo, 100%.
Like it's a bop.
The neighbor's here again.
The door.
What's his name? I don't know.
But his dog's name is Buster.
yeah, exactly.
Hardee County is one of the smallest
Nice.
counties in the state of Florida.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Right. So as of our last census, the entire population is just under 30,000. That's the
Okay.
entire county.
You know,
Okay.
I,
The
I
entire
spent some,
county.
I spent some summers there.
Yeah. Okay. So most
You're
of this
thinking
then,
Hardee's is a restaurant.
Oh, I did spend some summers there. Yeah.
It's a whole county.
Yeah,
I love
okay.
a good Hardee's.
so up until the 1980s, it was known as the agriculture center of our state.
What?
Okay.
Because if you lived there, like during this time period, all you had to do was either be a citrus farmer or a cattle rancher.
No.
So lots of industry kind
Yeah.
of came out of this
Right.
kind of small part of our state. And it's one of those areas where like you hear that phrase, like it seems like time forgot about it.
Yep.
Like it's like they're still living an old school, old style way of living.
Yeah.
And-
Saloons and stuff.
right. Kind of. Yeah. So this area where Hardee County is located is actually an area of our state that people call Bone Valley.
What?
And
What?
the reason why is because the majority of the phosphate mining in the entire state of Florida is actually done in this small square
Gotcha.
Wow. Really?
county, right?
Right.
Which is kind of a cool nickname, honestly.
Yeah.
Bone Valley.
It sounds kind of
Bone Valley.
scary.
It sounds better than I live in Hardee County.
Yeah, would you live Bone Valley?
Yeah.
Right.
Amen,
So
baby.
it's cool. Yeah. So even present day Hardee County is mainly like orange groves, cattle, and phosphate miners.
All right.
Cool.
Okay. But 50 years ago, when our story takes place, it was still just one of those places where like everyone knew everyone.
Yeah.
Right. Kind of one of the small town vibes, farming, people raising cattle. In 1972, a rumor began spreading around Bone Valley.
Okay.
A man that no one knew who wasn't from Florida had just purchased 40 acres right dab in the middle of Hardee County.
Okay.
Oof, don't like that.
So
Nothing
kind of
wrong with
imagine,
that.
it's nothing wrong with it, but like whenever you're in a county where everybody knows everybody and you
Yeah.
find out like a stranger has just bought
Right.
40 acres in the middle,
Yeah.
you're like, wait a minute, who
What's
is
he
this
doing
guy?
here? Or
This
she?
It's our land.
Yep.
Right.
I mean,
Uh,
it's his land. He bought it.
Technically, you're right.
It's for sale.
I don't see any problems. so
Legally,
far.
it's his land.
Okay. Okay.
So these people have been living here for generations, and now there's an outsider who just bought a huge chunk of the county. He's not from Florida, so immediately they start gossiping, right?
yeah.
Like, like what if this person's from like a big city and he's kind of
Right.
weird?
I bet he wears those thing called pants.
Bell bottoms, this guy. But either way, it's the most exciting thing to happen in this area in a long time. Everyone's
Right.
dying to know who this guy is. Well, in the summer of 1972, the people of Hardee County finally get to meet their new neighbor.
Okay.
He pulls up with his family members, each one driving a different hippie van,
Okay.
What?
packed to the brim, full of what appeared to be scrap metal and junk.
What?
Standing at 5'7" and weighing only 114 pounds, a bearded man steps out of the lead
Okay.
van and he waves to his
God.
to his new stunned neighbors, and he says, "My name is Howard Solomon, and I'm here to build a castle."
What?
Okay, I'm in it. Yeah. I opt in.
I'm opting in
Okay.
tentatively, though.
Okay. Howard Solomon was born May 27th, 1935 in Rochester, New York.
Okay.
So Howard's family was one of those, like what we would call like salt of the earth folks.
Yes.
They believed in hard work, taking care of your family. And the last thing they wanted to hear from their son, Howard, was that he wants to do art for a living.
Right.
I think most parents probably.
Jeez.
All three of our parents.
Yeah.
We're
Not
like,
as disappointing as starting a podcast. Though.
No, right.
No, that's bottom of the barrel.
We're scraping. But ever since he was a little kid, that's what Howard Solomon wanted to do.
Okay.
When he was in the third grade, he would frequently kind of skip all the outdoor activities that the other kids were doing because he wanted to draw his cartoons.
Right.
Okay,
That's
cool.
That's
I like
what he
that.
wanted to do.
I like cartoons.
He told his family that his calling in life was to be an artist. And as of right now, this is my only outlet to draw cartoons. Well, his parents reacted the way that you can imagine any parent in the 1940s reacting to that.
Spanking.
Yeah, no, for real.
Yeah.
Like, that's a spanking.
Yeah, I'll spank the art out of you.
Yeah, exactly. 100%. They didn't want him doing that. Like, hey, stop coloring things.
Right.
We want you to work with your hands, like like a real worker. So basically, Howard was actively discouraged from pursuing art his entire school career. Okay, something very wonderful though happened in 10th grade. He was kicked out of school.
Okay,
Oh,
well,
yeah.
that's
you draw enough. That's
Yeah,
bound to
yeah.
happen.
We're
Yeah.
getting you out of here, right? So this is a quote from Howard Solomon. He said, "I never actually graduated high school, but I didn't drop out. I was just asked politely not to return."
Okay, I've had a lot of jobs like that.
Yeah.
Hey, if you could do us a favor and not come back
Yeah.
next year, that
It's
would
kinda
be helpful to
Killing
everyone.
the vibe.
Well, the reason was because Howard was always distracted by the artistic potential of the things around him. So this kid, like, he couldn't really focus on
Yep.
the math lesson or the history. The entire time he was like, I could paint the crap out of this room.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he just wanted
That
to
blackboard, I could cover that blackboard. in
100%.
chalkings.
He wants to do art. But here's the thing. Back in the day, being kicked out of school, like it wasn't like punishment, like, hey, like you're done with school, go work in an oil field or whatever.
Right.
Cool.
They would send you to a different school.
Okay.
So you weren't
Yep.
free of learning. You were
Yeah.
just free of learning like basic arithmetic and that sort of
Yeah.
thing. They sent Howard to a place that was called the industrial school.
Well,
I mean, it sounds like up his alley for sure.
Maybe
It's-
you'll learn welding.
It's a factory for children.
Well, that's no
What?
fun. That's not fun.
It's
That's not
but
good.
Josh hit it right on the head. It's where they teach you how to do woodworking and crafting sheet metal and welding.
like trade school.
It's a trade school,
Cool, cool,
basically. But these are for the kids who are like, look, this is what you're going to do. You're going to work with your hands, whatever.
Right.
Here's the thing. It was meant as a punishment. But for Howard Solomon,
Oh, he loved it.
immediately, he's like, wait, I get to create something?
Wait, so
Like,
he saw potential in the classroom of
Right.
things to make art with, and they send him to a place with scrap metal?
and like welding and
No,
teaching him how to do
it's over.
woodworking.
So it doesn't sound like a punishment. It
No.
just
It's meant to be, but not to him.
okay.
So basically, he sees his chance. This is my time to be artistic. Using the skills he picks up from the industrial school, Howard began making brilliant pieces of art out of wood and metal.
Nice.
So much so that everyone was falling in love with what he was doing. So again, this is a time period where like it's not being encouraged.
Nice.
But he's doing this in his free time, and even like his teachers are going, "Holy crap, this kid's
They're like, not selling to you, teach.
no, 100%. This kid's gifted.
Yeah.
He's something special about him." The issue was the industrial school didn't really have the budget to allow Howard to continue to make wood and sheet metal sculptures
Yeah,
every
okay.
single
I
day.
could see that.
He's blowing
yeah.
through all the material.
They're like, "Look, we got to teach a lesson, and you used everything yesterday."
Yeah. Where's the wagon?
Yeah.
You're supposed to build.
He tore it apart and he welded it into a horse.
Oh no.
Right. So basically, he takes matters into his own hands. Howard starts scouring the city late at night looking for scrap and wood metal.
Okay.
Or scrap wood and metal. He would spend countless hours at the dump.
Yep. Nice.
Just kind of collecting scraps. But he would also pay fishermen for the scrap metal that they would accidentally pull up in their nets.
Really?
Okay.
So
Wow.
this kid's hanging out like at
He's helping
junkyards
the world.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
cleaning the oceans.
and
Right.
docks. Yeah. Just basically whatever scrap you can't use, give it to me. I'll turn it into art.
Okay. I don't care what you turn it into.
Yeah, I like
100%.
Yeah.
Eventually, word begins to spread about Howard Solomon, and his scrap metal sculptures start appearing in showcases all around the United States. He gets a showcase in Miami. He gets one in New York, where he's from, one in California. He gets one in the middle of World War II, by the way, in
What?
Europe.
Wait,
they did
That you were allowed to go to Europe for an art exhibit during World War.
Well, they
World War
were
II?
taking his art and shipping it overseas. People were like hearing
Morale.
about it and buying it. Yeah,
What?
100%.
You got to keep the morale up.
So this kid, he graduates, and for the next 10 years, he's doing nothing but like metal and wood sculptures.
Yeah.
It just for exhibitions all around
And then
the
going
place.
home getting spankings for doing metal and wood sculpture.
Yeah, well, he fortunately he had moved out, but he starts being known as the Da Vinci of debris.
Oh, wow.
Oh, whoa.
Because this guy
That's a
takes
cool
like
name.
what people consider to be trash, turns it into like really beautiful things. Here's the thing though about Howard, and I think a lot of creatives, like he just felt like he was never satisfied. Like he was doing what he loved to do, but he felt like his canvas was never big enough. And so one night he's talking to his wife, and Howard Solomon says that his vision was to build a scrap metal sculpture that was so large that it would be the size of like a real castle. That it would be to scale, the size of like a European.
You're
English,
describing a castle, though.
basically a
out of
castle,
scrap metal.
Right.
Well, that was
But a
his
sculpture.
Yeah, well, that was his like aha moment because from that night forward, his dream was to out of scrap metal build a castle that he and his family could live in.
Are you telling us currently there is a scrap metal castle?
We'll get there.
Oh my gosh.
So basically, it's all he can think about.
Okay.
He's obsessing about it. After doing some research, he discovers around the time of a thing called the land boom in Florida.
Yep.
He hears about this area called Bone Valley in Hardy County.
Right.
And because he can purchase for like cents on the dollar,
Amen.
he buys 40 acres of land, slap dab in the middle of Hardy.
Yeah.
He packs up his family into 3 hippie vans.
Okay.
And he goes, hey, we're heading down to Florida, baby.
Everybody in Hardy County is like, who's got $40?
Yeah. And
Purchase this land.
Howard said, this is a great quote from Howard. When they asked him, why did you buy this land? He said, because it was cheap and so am I.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Which is a
That's a good
wonderful
life
quote.
motto.
Right, 100%. So now we're back where we started. It's 1972. Howard Solomon he's just pulled up to his new neighbors and announced he's here to build a castle. So naturally, they're a bit skeptical.
Yeah.
Because this outsider.
Couple
they're,
laughs.
Right. They're like, well, who's this crazy guy, right? But once they spent a few weeks around Howard, they realized that he was not only the nicest guy on the planet, but he was also like the handiest. Because like if you're the guy who's making a castle out of scrap metal and wood,
you got
also
skills.
know how to fix things. You can fix
Right.
people's houses and their property. So Howard becomes like the county's fixer-upper. Like he gains the trust of the citizens by going like, hey, if you just like believe in me and believe in what I'm doing, I'll fix anything you have for free.
Wow.
So he accidentally became what his parents wanted him to be.
100%. Through his art, full circle, he becomes what his parents wanted him to be. But here's the thing, because he's built the trust with these citizens, they turn around and they're like, let us help you build your kingdom.
Okay. Wow.
Like, let us help you, fulfill your dreams and see what you're doing.
You fixed my cow barn, whatever.
Right.
I'm going to help you build a castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So over the next 30 years, Howard Solomon, with the help of the people of Hardy County, built a life-size, fully functional 12,000 square foot castle. It's got It's got a lighthouse, like with like towers at the top.
Okay.
It's got an actual size like moat filled with alligators.
What?
No.
Yes.
How is this? I don't know.
Here's the thing: once he got finished with his castle, with the moat and the drawbridge and all that stuff, he realizes something's not really complete. I need something else.
Okay.
So in the background, he then goes on to build a life-size Spanish galleon, like one of those
That's
giant
what I
ships,
thought was missing, right?
Okay,
That
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
that for you, Ken?
like from Pirates of the Caribbean,
Right,
like
yep.
Wait,
this,
in the field?
like right behind his castle. Yeah.
So
Well,
there's a
something-
ship in the field.
So now there's a giant ship in the field,
Yep.
Okay.
right behind
That
his
makes
castle.
sense.
Right.
So anytime land around the original 40 acres came up for sale,
Okay.
he buys it on the spot.
Wow.
So
Well,
eventually,
you got to build more ships.
Got to.
got to build more ships. He's amassed over 100 acres of land.
Okay.
He built 5 more houses on the property because over the course of 30 years, your family grows.
Ideally,
So now his kids, his grandkids, and his great grandkids
live on the property.
all live on this giant property, his kingdom.
And
Do
scrap
they
metal
also
houses.
have castles, or are they just like normal?
They get snickle fritz.
okay.
They get normal houses.
Debris houses.
Can I
Right.
have like a bungalow or something? Maybe.
Can you live on the kingdom?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You can't live there, but you can still visit if you'd like
This
to.
place exists currently.
He starts
still.
giving tours, and as of 1993, on average, 30,000 people a year
What?
come to visit Howard Solomon and tour his castle. So using what other people thrown away, Howard built a kingdom of art for people to enjoy. So
This is an hour away.
Once less, 30 minutes. Once he built this like 2-scale castle on this property, this massive kingdom, he starts going to work like decorating everything, like hiking trails, all these different things. And then he starts going back and building more art like he used to build to put into the castle.
Of course.
So that when you come take a tour, you're going
not
through
bored.
all of his exhibits and all this different stuff. Here's the thing, it gets better. So not only can you come and take 2 different like 3-hour tours.
Okay.
You can also spend the night.
Oh, here we go.
I'm free next weekend, boys.
I'm always free.
It's amazing because when you look at the pictures, if you just Google Solomon's Castle, Florida,
really,
it's insane how big this place is. And this guy got it using free materials. He just gathered scrap, whatever he can get his hands on. There's a newspaper plant that used these metal tins to kind of flatten the papers.
Okay,
but they could only use them for so long, and they would bend and break.
Of course.
And he struck up a deal with them. Was like, hey, whenever you don't throw them away, like call me. I'll come use them. And the guy used those as
they're like,
the
what
plates.
are you gonna use these for?
I'm building a castle.
Okay.
And there's been dozens of hurricanes.
Yep.
And it still stands.
What?
It still
So the
stands.
guy's good at what he's doing.
10th grade education.
He's phenomenal at what he does. So his castle still is still open for tours. If you're interested in seeing Solomon's Castle for yourself, literally all you have to do is travel down to Hardy County and just be like, I'm looking for Solomon's Castle. And everyone will be like, well, yeah, it's just citrus fields and phosphate mines and a giant freaking castle over there.
Like, oh, there's a sign.
Yeah, like you can't miss it. But at some point, you can literally ask anybody, and they'll point you towards a real life functioning scrap metal castle.
Right.
That's 30 minutes away from our studio.
I thought we knew a lot about at least Florida, right?
Right. Yeah.
We knew the Coral Castle.
Yeah. No. Here's the thing. We did know about Coral
I just
Castle
did a castle a few weeks ago.
You did?
How many castles are in Florida?
Right. White Castle, you're thinking.
Oh yeah.
I think it's interesting, and again, it shows you like just the how massive our state is. That's something that attracts tens of thousands.
30,000 people can go.
Yeah,
and it's under the radar for us.
Yeah, and we don't even know it's 30 minutes away.
Right.
And I think part of the reason why is it's not something that you would see like right off the interstate.
Yep. Yeah,
you got to drive a bit off the beaten path, because when you're there, it kind of sells it. You're like, wait a minute, like this is
dope.
It's probably in like one of those brochures, like if you go to a tourist area and there's like that whole stack of
right.
Well, if I'm somewhere else, I'm gonna take a gander, but I'm never gonna look in
I'm
Florida.
a local. I know the stuff.
Yeah, it's been featured like on the Travel Channel and those shows where it's like the 20 weirdest houses, or whatever. Like it's on one of those shows,
a fluff piece.
Yeah, right. But not to us. To us, Howard Solomon's a legend.
Yes, it is.
And it's been phenomenal for hanging out with you guys. 131.
131.
Yeah,
man, I'm glad I opted into this conversation.
Amen.
I'm glad I stayed.
I really want to go see it.
Me too. We should go.
I want to go, and here's the thing: I want to go, and I want to spend the night.
I'm down.
If we're gonna go, I don't want to tour. That's for the folks.
Yeah, that's for them.
I want to go stay
Visitors.
the night. Yeah, and I want to live there. I want to feel his presence. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Is there ghosts?
Yeah, he passed away.
Oh, well, why are you telling us this now?
Well, because it's important to know.
Okay,
you see it.
Well, hold on. I said, are there ghosts? And you said, yeah. That doesn't mean he's haunting it.
Obviously, if you build a castle, you're going to haunt it.
That's just castle law.
It's
castle law. Okay.
Yeah, if you build it, you haunt it. And I've said that for centuries. Listen, we love you guys so much. FMOFM podcast, all social media platforms. Josh, you had some wisdom earlier. Do you want to share it again before we sign off?
Yeah, if you build it, you haunt it.
Amen.